I have a question for all of the vegans in the world that's more important than saving the planet or fighting off autoimmune diseases, and it needs to be answered today.
How do you get your protein, bro?
Protein sources can be found in many foods, but on a plant-based diet, it's actually quite difficult to find direct protein sources. Direct protein source? What does that mean? I'm glad you asked. There are two types of sources of protein. Direct protein sources. These are foods that are high in protein and are generally little in carbs and fat. Two classic examples are egg whites and fish. These are often animal-based products, which is why it's generally easier for people that have an omnivorous diet to consume a high-protein diet, which is favorable for building muscle and body transformation in general. Then we have indirect protein sources. These are foods that do contain protein, but they also come along with some carbohydrates and/or fats. Two examples of these are quinoa or quinoa, I never know how to say it, and chickpeas. With this knowledge in mind, we're beginning to see that it may be a little bit more difficult to consume a high protein diet as a vegan. But I think we can drive the point home a little bit more. Beef mince versus chickpeas. For 100 grams worth of raw beef mince, we have 168 calories, 20 grams of protein, 0 grams of carbohydrates, and 10 grams of fat. For 100 grams of drained chickpeas, we have 364 calories, 19 grams of protein, 61 grams of carbohydrates, and 6 grams of fat. Egg whites versus quinoa. For 100 grams of egg whites, we have 52 calories, 10 grams of protein, 0 grams of carbohydrates, and 0 grams of fat. The most direct protein source statistics you could ever achieve. With 100 grams of cooked quinoa, we have 120 calories, 4.3 grams of protein, 21 grams of carbohydrates, and 2 grams of fat. Barramundi, which is a fish here in Australia, versus tofu. For 100 grams of cooked barramundi, we have 92 calories, 20 grams of protein, 0 grams of carbohydrates, and 1.5 grams of fat. For 100 grams of cooked tofu, we have 118 calories, 12 grams of protein, 1 gram of carbohydrates, and 7 grams of fat. As we summarize those statistics, it's very clear that when you have a diet that consists of direct protein sources, it's easier to consume more protein in your diet for the amount of calories that you consume. So if you are going to follow a plant-based diet, you're going to have to be very intentional about what you eat throughout the day if you want to hit specific calories and macronutrients to optimize your body transformation. So what is a high-protein diet? A high-protein diet is anywhere between 1.5 to 2.5 grams of protein per kg of body weight that you have. So let's say you weighed 100 kg for some easy math. A high-protein diet would be anywhere between 150 grams of protein per day, all the way up to 250 grams of protein per day. There is one thing I didn't tell you though, one thing that saves a lot of people following a plant-based diet when they're trying to hit a high-protein diet, and that is protein shakes. A plant-based protein powder, when compared to a whey protein powder, can be very similar with its macronutrient makeup and the amount of calories that it's worth. If you are a vegan out there struggling to hit a high-protein diet, you can lean on protein powder to help you get there that still fits with your dietary limitations that you may have. There are many plant-based protein powders that have great macros and calories. Whatever your body transformation goal may be, whether it be muscle building, maintenance, or fat loss, a high-protein diet is always going to benefit that goal and help you optimize what you're trying to do. And if you are trying to stick to your fat loss diet and everything that you're trying is failing, then make sure you watch this video because this really stuffs people up when they're trying to lose weight. You can also click here if you want to subscribe.